ESPN West Palm, Brian Rowitz with you. National Sign Day is in the books, and if you're a fan of the Garnet and Gold, there are plenty of 5'6" and 7'2" players to cheer for years to come. And joining us now, he is the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles, Mike Norvell. You might have seen him through the air coming through our area, the chopper coming into town the last few weeks to finish the job. Coach, when it comes to this area, you got 5 guys in this class. You've brought talent in the past. What is it about Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that made you want to say, all right, I want some of those guys in my locker room?
Oh, I just think there have been so many great young men. Yes, the talented players and what they do on the field. Definitely something that's special. But just who they are, and we are always looking for the best fit for Florida State, and that comes down to guys that love to work. Guys that that care about the relationship part of it, and guys that are aspiring just to be the best in all that they do. And I think that's what we've been able to find. We've had some great guys, that've been on the roster and on our team currently that are living that out, and to being able to have those examples. I think has definitely you helped us there in the Palm Beach area, and to be able to continue to attract the best and the brightest from that area here to Florida State.
One of the biggest stars of this class, Amari Williams, the top athlete in the nation, making the decision to reclassify and graduate a year early. For you as a coach, when it comes to recruiting, how does that change your process? You're wanting to get him there, and then all of a sudden you find out, oh, we get him a year early. How does it change things for you?
Oh, I mean, it was put the pedal to the metal on that one. That was he was somebody that we identified early in his career as a guy that was just a top focus for us. And I went, and even when we were recruiting guys in the in the earlier classes, from what we presumed, he was somebody that always stood out. And whether it was at a workout, a practice, just kind of how he carried himself, even on some of the unofficial visits when we had him on campus, I just really loved what I believed that who he was, but then ultimately what I believed in the player that what he would become. And he has definitely did not disappoint. And when he and his mom kind of talked to us about the possibility of reclassifying, it was a green light go for us. And to have the opportunity to coach him a year earlier and to be a part of his journey, he's definitely a great fit for our program, and just so excited about what his future holds here at Florida State.
Talking to your Florida State head coach, Mike Norvell. Recruiting in 2024 is different than recruiting in, say, even 2014 for you. What are some of the positives of this new age of recruiting that has the portal, that has name, image, likeness, and is so different than even a decade ago?
Well, I mean, it's still all about opportunity, and I mean, everybody's got a different path to where they're going, and we've had guys that have done great things within the program, that have grown and been able to put themselves in the best position that, ultimately it's been fun to watch, guys that have come the old traditional way of working up and through. But then, we also have had guys that, as they've been in the program, they've also looked for, maybe different situations. Once they've graduated, maybe they want more playing time. They want a different opportunity, and, it's been good for them as well. And we had guys that have left the program that have went and been able to find, a different situation that's still been beneficial. And then on the flip side, we've also been able to bring guys in, through the transfer portal that have been great additions to our class, to our team, all to what we're ultimately trying to build. And I think we've had a good balance in that. Yes, we want to build this program through the high school ranks of recruiting and see guys go through that full process. But it's also it's a different age, like you mentioned, and so just trying to make sure that we stay true to who we're bringing in and the values that we're looking for, and make sure we don't get caught up in still finding that best fit for Florida State. But there are definitely a lot of different avenues of which that can come from.
What did it say about your coaching staff the last couple months to deal with the disappointment of the college football playoffs, to be on the trail the next day, if not that day, and still finish with a strong class?
Well, I mean, it was, obviously that was a disappointing moment. Anytime that you have a situation that showed up that has never happened in college football history. But there was still, it's still about the relationships, and it was a hard balance. I will say that even that night, the night of the selection, I was in 2 home visits that night, and it was tough, and it wasn't as much about who I was going to see, but obviously the players that we have, and just all the emotions they were working through. But it is a long process, and it's one that we've built great relationships throughout the years with the guys that have come in, and being able to go and see them, to be able to spend time in their homes, to be able to spend time you continuing to paint the picture of what's ahead. I mean, that's always one of my favorite times of the year, and so it was a fine balance, but definitely excited about the group that we have coming to Tallahassee.
How do you talk to those guys, current and future players, about all the stuff that is outside of football, that's even outside of your control when it comes to the current landscape of college football?
No, just tell them that, as they go through this journey, it is unique. It's a unique one, that is, truly, focused on them. But, it's also something that you also have to realize who you get to do it with. This journey is one that, I mean, they're going to look back, 20, 30, 40 years from now, and the time that they had, in these years of their lives are going to be some of the most, pivotal, all the decisions, everything that they do that, are going to help guide, where they're going to be, for the course of their future. And so, but I don't ever want them to lose sight of who they get to do it with. And making sure that they capitalize on the relationship, staying true to who they are, throughout this journey, because there's a lot of distractions that are out there, and everybody's got an opinion on what they should do, where they should go, what it should look like, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that get to go live it. And so, enjoying who they get to do it with, continuing to grow, develop, and just maximize the opportunity that's in place, for them to ultimately get to where they desire to be.
Florida State head coach Mike Norvell with us. Another guy from the area you had to say goodbye to this year. Your quarterback, Jordan Travis, coming out of the Benjamin School in Palm Beach Gardens. We see what he does on the field with his arm, with his legs, with his leadership. From your standpoint, what are you going to miss most about Jordan Travis off the field?
Just being around the person. I mean, he is, just a remarkable young man, and he's done so many wonderful things throughout his career, and then just his life of who he is. I love his family. I love the person. I do miss him. I miss being around him on a daily basis, just because he's somebody that he brings a smile on his face. He cares about who he gets to do it with, and just the impact that he made on his program. But I'm also excited for him. I'm excited about the next step of his journey. And when you pour everything in and you don't hold anything back, there's never regrets. I mean, you can be sad that somebody's not going to be around day to day, just as they're going on in his professional career. But there's no regrets, because we made an incredible impact. He made an incredible impact on us, and so now we get to sit back and celebrate his future success.
Coach Norvell adding to his 5'6", 7'7" talented class. Ricky Knight, Jake Weinberg, Jaden Parrish, Luke Douglas joining Vandrevius Jacobs, who's already there. How does it help the process? Obviously, going to college is not an easy thing. Tallahassee is far from here. Those guys we talked about, they've already built the friendship. There's already a bond there. How does that help you and help the locker room?
No, it's huge, and when you have those like-minded individuals, yes, it's awesome when they're coming from a similar geographic location. I mean, for them to be able to be a part of this process together is a wonderful thing. But you also get to you see the impact it makes with their families, and those families getting connected. Some of them have known each other for a long time. Some are still just forging new relationships, but they're all coming to a common place, for a common cause and a common purpose, and it's that's a fun thing for me, is you see those relationships that are forged and continue to be built, and they're joining a locker room that embraces who they are, that embraces where they come from, and it's definitely a special experience for all those young men and those families as they join this program.
We've seen all those guys together chopping it up figuratively with the chop and helping recruit and doing their part. They're all at different schools. They already had that relationship. When it comes to recruiting, how much do players help in that process, and how much are they essentially a part of your staff?
I mean, I think they're the greatest recruiters we have. I mean, the coaches, obviously we get to lay out the vision. We talk about the standard, the expectation, the development of not only on but off the field, but the players are the ones that go through it. And I love utilizing our players in the recruiting process, because they get to tell the story. They get to give the experiences, the good days, the challenging moments. I encourage them to share it all, because it's not always going to be 70 degrees and sunny. There's going to be days you're going to get knocked down. You're going to have tough circumstances that you have to work through. But when you know who you're getting to do it with, and you get a sense of what those experiences can be on the front end, and just how what that response is going to look like, like, I think it gives confidence for all that you can do and what you can achieve throughout that time.
Our backyard is going to be pulling for the Noles and all those locals that are now going to put on the garnet and gold. What should fans expect from Florida State football in 2024?
Continued growth, continued improvement. That's our daily objective. And I love who I get to do this with. And we got a great group of young men that are busting their tails right now. We've had a great first month of the winter program. But we want to see a team that gets better, and that's in every aspect of our program. It's going to be some new faces, some new opportunities, and that's you want to see that that steady progression. And I can tell you that as a football staff, as a university, as a program, all things that we're getting to do. I mean, there is that push, and there are great days ahead for Florida State football. And I'm just honored for the young men that I get to coach. That they've given me the opportunity, and so we're going to go push everything that we have to, with everything that we have, here in this upcoming season, and just see those positive steps that are to come.
Those young men that suited up on Friday nights here in our area now going to be suiting up in Tallahassee on Saturdays for the defending ACC champions. Coach, thank you so much for the time and best of luck with everything this year.
Well, thank you so much for having me on, and go Noles.